Good morning. Good morning. Oh, wait, good afternoon for some, and good evening for others. So, the last time I was on here, I was talking about the importance of self-actualizing yourself and to stop explaining and start self-actualizing. Stop explaining yourself, stop actualizing. And I got a couple questions because a large part of my video, my discussion was really around people who stand as obstacles from your self-actualization and who don't want you to self-actualize. So I got a couple of questions asking me, like, why would someone not want you to self-actualize if they care about you, if they love you? And because that's one thing I did say, some people who really want the best for you don't want you to self-actualize and basically fulfilling who you ultimately are, fulfilling ultimately what you want to do. And, I had some initial thoughts, but I thought about that myself. Well, why is that? And so there are four main reasons, four main motivations as far as why, some may not want you to actualize yourself, to self-actualize. And so talking about the first reason, the first and foremost reason is insecurity. Some people aren't going to want you to actualize yourself because it makes them feel like they may lose you. Because sometimes when you actualize who you are, you end up manifesting someone who they're not used to, they're not familiar with it. So it's uncomfortable for them. And so it makes them question, where do I belong in this world? And if they feel that they perceive a strong need for you in their lives and a strong need for them to be in your life, that is a threat. Because sometimes your self-actualization means that you are a different person. And sometimes circles do change when you truly actualize yourself. So one reason, I'm not going to say it's the main reason because I don't know, but one reason that some people are uncomfortable with you actualizing yourself is because of that insecurity. They feel insecure in a relationship. That if you fulfill who you ultimately are called to be, that where does that leave them? If you're changing up, where does that leave them in your life? The second reason that some people are uncomfortable with you self-actualizing is jealousy. Because most of us are living in a day-to-day automatic pilot type of life, just like I discussed in the last video. And so when we see someone truly fulfilling their purpose, truly actualizing who they are, it's a beautiful thing. And the light shines very brightly. And oftentimes people can't handle that because there's a jealousy of how come I can't do that? And so a second reason can be jealousy, the reason why people around you may not want you to self-actualize. And a third reason could be really a focus on their selves. So it could be selfishness, like, I want you to do this. This is what we always did together. Whether it's, two people smoking weed together and no judgment on what anybody decides to do. But or whether it's, we bike together and you want to spend time doing photography, or you want to go to that church, we always went to this church together. Regardless of what the activity is or what the decision is, sometimes it's just selfishness. I don't want you to do that because I want you to do this. This is what benefits me. If you keep doing this, this benefits me. So sometimes people don't want you to self-actualize purely because it doesn't benefit themselves. That decision that you make may benefit you, or your perception of the benefit to you, and they don't perceive, how is this going to benefit me? And the fourth reason, a last reason that I'll discuss today, why people may not want you to self-actualize is out of self-righteousness. And so these people truly believe that the advice they're giving you is in your best interest, but they believe that you should do what they think you should do, not what you want to do. And we all know sometimes we make decisions that may or may not be in our benefit. But that is up to us to decide what those decisions are and to live with those decisions, whether they are positive or negative consequences. it's still up to us to make those decisions, and those around us should honor those decisions because we are all adults, assumingly, at least in this context. And so in that sense, there is no room for someone else to judge what you should do in your life. Now, sometimes God does speak to others, and you may have a covenant with someone where they have that permission, that spiritual permission, that social permission to give their perspective, and then you decide whether or not to receive that. And God can give some pure, straight up wisdom from someone to pour into your life, and that there's actually absolutely a place for that. But when we get to the point where we're judging what someone else should do or how they should take the advice that we're giving, then that goes into this whole self-righteousness realm, which hinders other people's self-actualization, and it can hinder ours, because oftentimes when we are fans of other people, love them, admire them, and are inspired by them, what they say is very important. And so they can make or break what we decide to do sometimes, even unbeknownst to ourselves. Even sometimes when someone is important in our lives, their silence even can be that powerful. And so those are the 4 reasons I wanted to chat about today, as far as at least the reasons why I see why some people may not necessarily want you to actualize yourself. But I say to stay on that journey. As I discussed before, it's not something that is going to automatically happen, but it's something you're going to have to fight for. It's at the top of that Maslow hierarchy, that Maslow put together for a reason, just as I said, and that's because everyone's not going to be able to reach that pinnacle, that top. But the few who do are those who will get to celebrate in it and get to have that ultimate peace, because that's what self-actualization really is. It's peace and doing and being who you are called to be and where you have comfort in. And sometimes we have comfort in this place and then we have to move, right? Because this life, we know, is about constant change. It is about dynamicism and about being able to flex. And anyone who's lived through the past 3 years know that. So even where you are called to be today, whatever that decision is or place, doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be tomorrow or a month from now or a year from now. But ultimately accepting it as a journey, and hopefully listening to the Holy Spirit to tell you this is where you're supposed to be, that will give you that peace in actualizing yourself and the place where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. So have a blessed day.